Hello, my everyday penny peeps. Today's video is specifically for solo parents because I am a solo parent and it has been challenging yet rewarding. But I think some of the things I've learned can certainly help other solo parents. And I will be doing a whole series on this. But for today, I'll be talking about saving money on a tight budget. So I am a solo parent of two boys who are now 14 and 16. And it's been an interesting ride, to say the least. I would say that the toughest challenge is time management, and the budget money challenge is making sure that everyone gets what they need. But, you know, as a solo parent, there's other things that you face. There could be health issues, parental guilt, going to work and not being able to pick up your children, or having them have a key to the house and letting themselves in after school. That's a big guilt. Limited time for yourself. You're doing both jobs, so it's limited time. And, you know, just the overload. And there's just so many different things that we could talk about. So there will be a series, but for today, we're just talking about smart money moves on a tight budget for solo parents. Let's get started. I've broken the smart money moves for solo parents down to 5 different segments. So let's start with number 1, balancing wants and needs. Every kid wants stuff. I want stuff. But do we need it? Do we need it? So I always emphasized to my children about the different things, and I pointed out the things that cost money, that the roof over our head is not free, their comfy bed, their television, their video games. None of that is free. So when they understand that there are bills to be paid and that you have to earn your money, they start to understand a little bit of the pressures. And as a solo parent, you know, I've had people who aren't solo parents disagree with me, but honestly, I think as a solo parent, it's a team effort. And the family is closer, kind of because we have to be. And even though when my children were younger, they didn't realize a lot of things that were happening. But as they've grown and they understand more, they now understand what was going on at that time. I think I had expressed in one of the videos how I had lost a job right before the holidays, and we had already bought our Christmas tree. So we were, you know, with all the rest of our belongings, stuffing the Christmas tree into the U-Haul because I wasn't going to buy another $50 Christmas tree when the one I had was just fine. And it ended up being one of the best Christmases ever. Would have I thought it would turn out that way? No. But to this day, my children still tell me that it was one of the best Christmases ever. So when you balance wants from needs, you do have to make a point of letting them know the basic expenses of the household, and letting them know that when we have extra and I know you want something and I see value in that, you wanting that, we can make that happen. Number 2, creative techniques. I got a lot of creative techniques. So here you go. So when my boys were really young, they were into Thomas and Thomas the Train and the train set and all of that. And I found a store that periodically would have 50% off of the Thomas items. And we, over time, collected, I counted them the other day, now I forget, and the tracks and everything else. And you should see, I videoed them putting this up. So, but the moral of the story is to this day, they remembered that when they wanted a train, I would say, let's wait until I can get a coupon. That way we can buy more trains, not just the one you want today. So they were very happy with that. The only thing I really had a problem reining in and saying has to wait or another time was when somebody wanted to buy a book. Because learning is so important and it's hard to say no to a book. But there are libraries. So we can first see if the book is in the library and rent it from the library. And if it's a brand new book that hasn't hit the library yet, you know, we can put that on our list for when it fits the budget. Another way that I was able to save was on clothing. First of all, I do have 2 boys who really didn't care what they wore as long as it was comfortable. But, you know, they're in a lot of communities, they have clothing drives for young kids, and usually associated with the school that and the school district that you're in. And once a year, they ask for clothing that their kids have outgrown. And then, you know, a bunch of wonderful ladies or men or whoever does it, I'm not really even sure, sort everything out. And if you say you're in need of clothing, they'll give you the sizes that you need. Free clothing. The other ways are, you know, Goodwill, Salvation Army has clothing store. There's other places where you could get used clothing, and why not? Your kids grow out of it anyway. It's hardly on them long enough to become a favorite. So, especially when they're little. And when they're little, they don't know. So save the money when they're young and spend it when they get older and they really need the sneakers to feel like they fit in. Also on baby items. So, you know, strollers and car seats and all of those things. I found some of the best deals on baby items at people's yard sales. But, you know, I had a friend from the UK who said that there were, and probably in different areas here in the USA too, are stores that collect baby items. And you can go in and buy, you know, a used baby item at a great discount. And again, those are things that you can't keep forever. They grow out of them. You don't need them. And they just become part of your basement. And, you know, until you give it to someone else or you give it to one of these stores to sell for you. So why not just purchase it used to begin with? And if it's still in good shape, let somebody else have a chance at it. Are ways to cut your bills. So we've actually, and this is like your utility bills and your household bills. And recently, we started to turn our heat off at night because we're under the blankets. Actually, we live in a condo, so it doesn't get too cold because all the houses are attached. But it's an idea that if you've had your heat on, or turn your heat down during the day when you're not at home. That's another way. Also, check your hot water heater and make sure it isn't at the highest temperature. First of all, it's a safety issue. You don't want to get burned by hot water or your kids to be burned by hot water, but it also saves money by keeping it at a reasonable temperature. Same thing with air condition. In the summertime, you can, if you're out of the house during the day, turn the air off and then turn it back on when you're there and you want to be comfortable. Number 4, crafting a realistic savings plan. This is so important. For the children especially, they learn by what they see you do. So if you're constantly struggling to pay the bills, they think that's normal. And, mattering on the life you live or the life you want to live, that's not normal. You shouldn't have to struggle to pay your bills. So when crafting a realistic savings plan, what you want to do is work backwards. So based on what your income is, what your bills are, and so income and expenses get all written up. And those are the non-negotiables. And then, so that would be utilities, food, rent or mortgage, all the non-negotiables. And you can look at your income and say, I need to make more money. If I need to make more money, how can I make more money? And you can just put on your little thinking hat and either figure out your next step with your employer on how to get a raise, or anything that you could be doing on the weekends or on the side to bring in more money. But this is why saving is so important. If you put it away and you save it, it multiplies, it compounds. And compounding is magic. It's passive income. It's free money if you can put it away. Or, it can also grow to your advantage by investing. So that's another way. But if you don't have it to invest, you can't get there. So that's why it's so important. And if you, so let's say your kids, received Christmas presents from your family, and there was monetary gifts. I always said, well, X amount of dollars has to go into the bank, and then you can use a little bit of it however you want. And everybody was happy. Also, as they get, they're going to want, as they get older, that are ways to teach them about saving and why that's important. And once they have it, and once they save it, my kids also have money in brokerage. So in my brokerage account, they have Apple stock. And, that has grown. Here are my top 12 tips on saving money as a solo parent. First is to create your emergency fund. Again, not only will it be there for you during the emergency, but it will make you more comfortable and feel more confident about your money and money moves that you make. 2, create a budget. You've got to know where you are in order to know how to get to where you're going. It's that simple. It's something that I know a lot of people avoid, but you have to write it down and you have to keep it simple. On also creating a budget, don't have a lot of credit cards. They just get out of control. And, you know, 1 or 2 credit cards will do. I carry a Discover and I carry a Costco card because we go to Costco and we go to the big budget grocery stores. So I think that has been very helpful to, especially with the groceries and groceries going up. And I know in another video I had said, which I do this, that because of the gas prices and the high prices and the fluctuation, I will not fill my tank up all the way. I will, if I see a price that's half decent, I'll stop and get half a tank or some gas, because I don't know when the prices will again rise. So I'm kind of dollar cost averaging my gas in my auto, but it's been working out just fine. Number 3, childcare expenses and childcare strategies. If you've been in the community a long time, you should know of all of possible community support. If there is no community support, check a local church. Usually the churches, synagogues, other religious organizations do have some support with childcare. Also, if your child is in school, there are sometimes after school programs where they'll keep your children a little longer so that you can get from one place to another. I know for myself, at one point I had a woman from our church watching my children early in the morning and getting them off to school because I had to leave super early to get to where I needed to work. So it was very helpful. Insurance coverage. Make sure you have the insurance you need. So definitely auto insurance if you're renting or owning a home, homeowners insurance, renters insurance, health insurance. And there are, if you're not getting health insurance through an employer, there are government plans. Children have possibly a different plan. I know here in Pennsylvania we have CHIP, which is a child health insurance program, especially for the children. So there are ways to cut those costs there, but look into it because they are there for you and to support you along your way. And you need to get to where you need to go, and your children, need to have you with them. So make sure you're taking care of your health. Smart shopping habits. Actually, I think it's so funny because we have a video on that under the Young Money Masters series with Jack and Zach, where I gave them $100 bill and I gave them a short list of essentials. So like eggs, milk, bread, I don't know what else was on there. It's been a while. Some vegetables, I'm sure, were on there. They went into the grocery store, and the deal is they had to get everything that was on that list. And after that, they could spend the rest on their snacks and what they wanted at the grocery store. And to this day, my younger guy, Zachary, still won't, well, there's some name brands he'll get. But if it's something like, I need a can of something, he'll go for the store brand. Also, same thing when we go to Costco. We usually get the Costco brand because it's less expensive. But he's funny. He'll tell me, Mom, this is a better deal. We got to get this one because this is a better deal. So if you teach them young, they're very helpful as they get older. Meal planning is another one. I think I'm on number 6. So meal planning. Interesting. So if you plan your meals for your family and you buy just what you need for that meal, you end up saving money because you're not just buying stuff. You're planning it. You know you have what you need for the meal, and it's not wasteful. So educate your kids. I think I've made that point pretty clear. Not only is it going to save your sanity, but you're helping them. You're helping them. You're teaching them how to be adults in the real world, because they're going to have to do this. And I remember doing it as a college student. It was really hard because I had nothing. And I didn't have a supportive family. My background is I'm one of 4 girls. My family was a bit dysfunctional and certainly not supportive. So I did college by myself. I paid for it myself, got the loans myself. My parents were not supportive of a college education, but I knew it was important. So, there you go. So you got a plan. And there were more than one day where I didn't have a meal, or a friend got me something from their meal plan at the cafeteria at the school, because I had nothing. Number 8, and we didn't talk about this, maximize your tax benefits. So if you don't know what your tax benefits are as a solo parent, I guess I'll have to do another video on that. But maximize your tax benefits. Tax benefits is a possible side hustle opportunity. Anything you can think that might make you money on the side. Also, as a solo parent, for number 10, are your legal and financial documents. Make sure you have them. Guardianship for your children. Your will. Advance directive. Advance directive is, if you get sick in the hospital, what do you want? What are your wishes? And also let either the person you name the guardian to your children, or your children themselves, let them know where that information is. In our home, we have a fireproof box. And my boys know where all that information is. And they also know where it is digitally. So, that's very important. Because if you weren't around, who's going to take care of your children? I know it's hard to think about, but they need you there too. They need you to think about that for them. So, I already had said that one, number 11. But yeah, ask for assistance. I mean, there's no reason why, if you're really, really struggling, have somebody help you. Have somebody help you. If you want to write to me and you have a financial concern and you want to send me an email, go right ahead. Go right to our website and send me a message. Actually, there'll be a link tree in the description box of this video. And I think my email is right on there. So you can just write me an email and ask me a question. And if there's anything you want to know, because again, I'm doing this whole series about thriving solo, ask me, comment. I want to hear from you. I want to know that I'm on the right track with these videos. Let's go. And then the last thing is a self-care budget. You need to be able to be yourself and do your own stuff. You are an adult after all. And every once in a while, we love our children, but we have to get away. We need to be with other adults, and we need to do other things. So put a little money away aside for yourself. Take care of you. Because in the end, the healthier you are, the healthier your kids are going to be, and the healthier your family is going to be. And that's the most important thing. Living a life of enjoyment, satisfaction, and knowing that you matter. That is the recipe for happiness. So keep thriving solo. I'll keep doing videos. And again, comment and let me know what else you want to know in particular.